Any Winehouse, the woman with the soulful voice and a terrible drug and alcohol addiction. You know, friends and family shocked by her death over the weekend, though not entirely surprised. You're still talking about it, tweeting about it. It is trending today. Her funeral and cremation in London was attended by those very close to her today. A formal cause, though, of death is expected to be released in October after results of a toxicology test come back. But her father did release a statement. I want to read part of it here. He said, quote, knowing she wasn't depressed, knowing she passed away, happy, it makes us all feel better. When I heard, I said I wanted an Amy Winehouse Foundation. He says it would help the things she loved, children, horses, and especially those struggling with substance abuse. And speaking of, I want to talk now to Dr. Howard Samuels. He's the founder and CEO of the Hills Treatment Center, and he's also a recovering heroin and cocaine addict and has seen both sides of the problem. Howard, first, just congratulating you. You've been clean and sober for 26 years, but in reading about your background, you were the son of a pretty prominent politician, and you're also helping other addicts now at the Hills Treatment Center. What is it? What is it about living with an addiction, and what is it about this age 27? So many people seem to die at 27.
Well, you know, it's around that age period. I mean, addiction really starts for people when they're a teenager, Brooke. And the addiction then becomes, you know, more severe and more severe because you need more drugs to get high. I mean, I started shooting heroin at 16 years old. Wow. And I was in rehab at 20 and a convicted felon at 20. That's why I went into rehab. But when I came out of rehab, I thought I could drink because I was a drug addict. And so I started to drink, and then the alcohol took me back to heroin. And I'm shooting heroin again at 27, 28, 29 years old. And I OD'd numerous times. So in the late 20s, your addiction becomes worse. And for me, I didn't hit my bottom until I was 32, and my family saved my life. So it's very bizarre that this, you know, the father would say that she died happy.
She wasn't depressed.
I mean,
that's what he said. But
yes,
he was concerned about her health, as we have read. And when you look, Howard, I mean, look at this video with me. I don't know if you have a monitor in front of you. You've seen the video of her.
Yes,
it was
I do.
The last time we've seen her public performance. I want to say this was June. This is when she was in Belgrade. And if you just watch her, and let's listen here. She's stumbling. I just wanted that to breathe, to just ask. She's stumbling. At one point, she meanders off stage. She even is forgetting some of the lines to this song. I mean, if you are a friend, if you are a family member, if you know that she's struggling with addiction, and so many people did apparently, why didn't anyone see this show and do anything?
And you know what, Brooke? That's the million-dollar question. I mean, you know, my family started to see my addiction rise again, and I gotta say, they saved my life because they stopped enabling me. There's a whole team around Amy that enabled her. I mean, look at her, she's on stage. Yeah. Agents, business managers, family members, they're all part of the problem. And that's one of the reasons why I believe Amy's dead today, along with her own denial. I mean, I had a 25-year-old woman, one of my clients, die last week of a heroin overdose. Now, her problem wasn't that bad. Now, that's really, really sad because as far as I'm concerned, if you're a drug addict, you either get help or you die.
So what do you do? Because
Amy's
I don't want to end this segment, Howard, without some kind of solution. There are so many people out there, and there are parents out there of adult children who suffer with this addiction. And, you know, as Russell Brand said, look, you either get the phone call that person's gone, or you get the phone call that person wants help. But sometimes you can't force your adult child into help. So what do you do?
Well, you know, a mother just called me today, and her son left rehab. And I told the mother that she needed to have tough love, that she needed to stop enabling her son, and her son needed to reach a bottom. I believe that families have to intervene and intervene and intervene in every way they can to save their loved one. But I also believe that the person has to hit a bottom where there is a psychic shift. Now, my psychic shift came about in treatment. Thank God my family stopped enabling me. Thank God they stopped giving me money and they stopped giving me, you know, ways to manipulate. If it wasn't for my family, I wouldn't be alive here today.
Sure, you have to cut it off.
So I say to families out there, exactly, it's about the families. The families have to get in there, call people, call counselors, call interventionists. You got to get in there to save your loved one before it's too late.
Tough love. Great advice from someone who knows only too well. Howard Samuels, thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully we can help someone today. Thank you.